Thank you very much, General Nakasone. Gentlemen, thank you for your testimony. And as I indicated in my opening statement, Mr. Secretary, we've made progress in strengthening the ASD SOLIC to act as a service secretary-like position regarding SOCOM. But there's more to do, particularly with respect to personnel, facilities, and other aspects of your office. Could you comment on what more must be done?
Thank you, Chairman. And again, I would thank this committee in particular for the ongoing and very consistent support for the ASD SOLIC position and indeed my staff. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd give you a quick snapshot to say that I think we have established a degree of momentum and a bit of irreversibility, which certainly wasn't the sense of things when I first took this role. And a lot of that has to do with the continued support of Secretary Austin, Deputy Secretary Hicks. I think as I've testified in this committee before, the best snapshot I can give the committee is when the Secretary of Defense convenes his service secretaries, it convenes the Secretary of the Army, Secretary of the Air Force, and Secretary of the Navy, and me as ASD SOLIC to ensure that soft voice and perspective is in the room. To your question, Mr. Chairman, on areas of growth, I think we do need to continue to add staff. We've added about 20 or 25 people over the last 2 years with support from this committee, and that's against about 50 people currently. So it's a very small staff compared to the services, even with our limited authorities relative to them. And then I think most importantly, leadership billets. We need more ability for people in a very hierarchical Defense Department to be able to participate in meetings at the right level of seniority, sir. So I'd highlight those.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. General Fenton, what's the value to SOCOM in having a properly empowered service secretary-like civilian like Secretary Mayer?
Senator, thank you very much for that question. And I'd say on a couple fronts, very big value. First and foremost, as Secretary Mayer just mentioned, his ability to be at the service, excuse me, secretary tables with a SecDef and represent issues for the SOCOM team along the lines of people, education, training, and even, as he mentioned, where SOF will be and play a big role in terms of integrated competition. Excuse me. That's extremely important for the SOCOM enterprise. I'd say next, his ability to be with the service secretaries and represent issues from SOCOM back to the services that we take our folks in from is very important for us. We're very grateful for that. And certainly his direction in many ways throughout the department in terms of how SOCOM views not only integrated deterrence but crisis response and counterterrorism has been welcome guidance for me. So I'm very grateful to have a service secretary. And as I told you, I think, Chairman, when I was at confirmation, I look forward to testifying next to my service secretary.
Thank you very much, General. General Nakasone, the issue of readiness with cyber mission forces has been a persistent issue we've discussed at the committee numerous times. The cyber mission forces play a very key role, and they have very demanding tasks. They require personnel with special aptitude, training, and experience. And one of the ironies, of course, is when you develop such a person, he or she becomes very attractive for outside employers. So you have a retention problem as well as other problems. And in some cases in the past, it's been indicated that the services are not providing you the skilled and trained individuals you need, which does not provide you with the maximum possible use. So could you comment on the present sort of situation with respect to cyber mission forces and also any steps that we should be taking to improve their readiness?
Chairman, as we take a look at the readiness of our 133 teams, it really comes down to 3 R's. It's the readiness piece of it, it's the recruiting piece of it, it's the training piece of it, and it's the retention piece of it. And so when you look at that, where I see this right now is the fact that the services have done a good job of recruiting the forces that I need. Assigning the numbers are one of the things that we're working with right now to make sure that we have all of the folks that we need. We've worked very, very hard to get the training to a very simple and predictable level. That continues to improve. The other piece that we need to work hand in hand with the services is the retention piece, which you highlighted. The challenge of someone that has this type of training is very, very attractive to the outside. But several of the services, the Marines included, have made tremendous progress in this, in being able to focus their Marines on doing what these Marines wanted to do, which is cyber operations. And being able to stay within our force for long periods of time, we see a reflective retention rate that's much higher.
Well, thank you very much. Gentlemen, again, thank you for your testimony. Let me recognize Senator Wicker.